Alright, in this video we're going to take a graphic and apply it to a realistic object. Here I have an illustrated graphic and I want to apply it to this graphic of or this image of this coffee mug and make it appear as though it's actually part of the mug, as if it were made in there. Almost like the glaze is actually over the graphic. Not so much so it looks like a sticker on the mug, but it actually looks like it's part of the mug. It was actually made into it. So, first thing I need to do is over here in my graphic, I need to select the object itself. I don't need this white background. So what I'm going to do is actually take my magic wand tool here and click in that white background. And you can see it selects that entire area surrounding my graphic. Well, obviously I want the graphic itself selected, so I'm simply going to invert that selection by going under the select menu and go to inverse. So now my object is selected. I'm going to take my move tool, hold down my shift key, and just drag and drop that object into the coffee mug document. Holding down the shift key will drop it right dead center of the document. Now, before I do anything, I'm going to convert this into a smart object. And that's because I'm going to be doing some distortions and other types of transformations to this object that if I don't like the result, I'm not going to want to have to go back and all the way and start all over again. I want to be able to do something to this graphic after the fact. I might want to change some colors of it or something like that. And doing that to the distorted version might be a little bit difficult. So, simply converting to a smart object, go into the menu here in the Layers palette, convert to Smart Object. So now I can do whatever I want to this object, and it's not going to lose any quality, no matter how much I scale it up and down, do whatever. So I'm going to go and bring up my free transform by pressing Command or Control T. Then I'm going to hold down the Shift and the Option key. Shift will scale it proportionately, and Option will scale it from the center. This will be the Alt key on PC, so you can scale it from the center. If I release that Option key, it scales it out from the corner. So, holding down the Option key, scales from the center. I'll scale it down a little bit, and I'm going to go outside the boundaries of my free transform box. You see I get the little bent arrow that allows me to rotate the object. And we'll just scale it in a little bit. Right about like that. Now, not going to hit enter yet because I want to warp this just a hair. So I'm going to go press my control key or right click directly on the object, and we'll go down to warp. And I'm just going to push these handles down just so this overall shape kind of conforms to the curvature of the glass. It's not making a big deal in this particular graphic because it is a rounded graphic. Now if it had square edges, you might be able to notice it a little bit more. But I'm going to go and do it anyway. Just about like that. It's very subtle. About like that. Okay. Well, now my graphic is sized and in place. Well, it still looks like a decal on a mug. It doesn't look like it belongs there just yet. And I could go ahead and probably change the blending mode of this layer to make it to really make it blend in nicely. Well, unfortunately, none of the blending modes really work for what I need it for. So I'm actually going to use part of the mug to achieve this effect. What I'm going to do is load that selection of this layer, that graphic layer, by pressing the Command key, clicking directly on the layer. Turn off that layer. I'm going to go back to the background, the coffee cup layer. And with that active selection, I'm just going to copy that selected area to its own layer by pressing Command J. Control J. So there I see I have a copied area of the coffee mug in the shape of my graphic. So I'm going to drag that above my graphic. And I'm going to turn my graphic back on, but you can't see it now because it's covered by that copied area of the coffee mug. So we're going to use the luminosity of this layer to help it blend into the coffee mug a little bit more. I'm going to do that by first removing the color information. As I said, I'm using the luminosity, not the color information. So I'm just going to press Shift-Command-U to remove that color information. And then I'm going to simply change this layer's blending mode to hard light. And what you see is that shadow. I can actually adjust this by using my levels. I can make it a little bit darker if I need to. Maybe lighten that light area. Don't need to make it quite that dark. But what I've done here, there's our original mug. You see the lighting and luminosity and shadow area that's going on in here, despite the color. And I've taken that and put it on its own layer to blend through that graphic to help sell it that it's actually part of that graphic. You see those the shadow areas and that glare going along the graphic here. So there it is. It's a way of taking a graphic and really applying it to a realistic object to make it look like it's really there, look like it was made from it.